How we doing? You alright? It's been a short while, hasn't it? Hope you enjoyed the debut single from Burrell. I thought I would say that one more time. Burrell, because a lot of people have been asking exactly how it's pronounced. It's Soph's surname, so if you already knew that, it was probably quite easy for you, but yeah. It's not Barrel, or Buxrell, or Burrell. Well, maybe it is Burrell, depends what part of the country you're from. If you're Sean Bean, it's Burrell. If you're not Sean Bean, it's Burrell. I've just checked, it's been about 10 days and it's had over 123,000 views, which that is mad. That is mad. Like I said to Soph on the first day, it'd be great if we could get, 1,000 plays first day. I think it did 35,000. I was like, yeah, it'd be cool, if we could sort of get to like 40, 50 by the end of the week, thinking it would flatten out. 123. I'm impressed. Thank you so much for your support. And if you haven't checked it out, go do so using the link up there, I've forgotten where it is, or in the description below. We'd appreciate it. But yeah, it brings me on to today's video. I had a request from one of my long-term students called Chris to learn this guitar solo he'd heard. He was listening to like an 80s mega mix on YouTube, and there was just this random song in the middle, and he was like, I want to learn this. I'd never heard of it before, and it turns out it's by a band called Vision, and the song's called Do It Tonight. So I worked it out, and I figured we'd take a look at that today. But before we do anything, I've got a parcel to unbox. So the lovely people at Andertons were kind enough to send me out what they call an Andertons care package. And I have no idea what's in this box. Good job I brought this steak knife in. It's paper.
5 stars for eco packaging.
I'm a big fan of
branding.
I remember when I opened the Beatronics Vespa and I was like, you even know.
It was so pretty.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I forget now because you're learning guitar. This stuff should actually interest you now.
Yeah, it does.
It used to be the bane of your life.
Well, not the bane of my life, but just sometimes it was gobbledygook to me.
Oh wow. That is a care package.
Ooh. What we got?
We have got an Andertons pick.
There you go.
We love what you're doing and can't wait to see more. In the meantime, enjoy this gift. Andertons made me do it. Very cool. Andertons beanie, perfect for a bad hair day. Which, if we're being honest,
Or our freezing cold house.
I never wear beanies, and I don't think I've ever worn a beanie since I've grown my hair. I look like a vintage skater.
Actually suits you.
It actually is alright.
Actually
I'm
suits
going to leave
you.
it on.
Of course.
They know me. Ernie Ball strings.
I love the design on that, yeah.
It's Monty's. They make pickups and like instrument wax, and I haven't got my glasses on.
Do you want me to read it?
Oh, it is. It's the Monty's relic wax.
Go on,
I'm
give us a
99%
peek.
sure that you put this on the fretboard.
Why don't I get to smell it?
Go on then.
Smells of nothing.
Exactly.
Why are you smelling it? Why are you smelling it?
That's what I don't know, but that's why I didn't offer it to you. I didn't want to go like, oh, it smells like lush or something.
I feel like they should mix it with some essential oils or something, a bit of lavender.
I'm not criticising this. This stuff's really good. It gets great reviews online. They know me they know my brand.
Mm-hmm.
Seatbelt. This is what you do with Ernie Ball straps. You hook them on like this.
Hang on. There we go. Madonna would be so proud.
Madonna?
Yeah. Strike a pose, Vogue. I'm trying to bring some alternative music to your channel.
I don't think of Madonna when I think of striking poses. I think of Slash. Think of Jimmy Page. Think of Mark Knopfler. I don't want to talk about Madonna. Do you like my framing skills? Very cool. Patch leads. You know what patch leads mean? You know what these are for? Go on, guess. It's not for really small guitarists like Soph.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, these are the size cables that Soph uses between a guitar and amp.
I don't know, is it just... Does it plug into pedals?
It's not gobbledygook anymore, is it, for you? I really didn't expect all this. This is super generous. We've got an Andertons black tee and an Andertons sweatshirt as well.
You've got to give it a feel test. How's it feel?
Soft, premium. Like me. You're a witch, right? So what's a magic word?
There's loads, but if I was going to pick one, maybe Alakazam.
Alright, so on 3,
Okay.
you say Alakazam. Ready?
Okay, right.
1, 2.
Alakazam!
You don't seem very impressed with that.
Matching.
It's quite hard to do that. How cool is it that through what you post online, people and companies can get to know you, know what you like?
Yeah, they've proper tailored it to your taste and everything with the guitar strings and like even the strap. Like it's just your style. It's what you love, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm super stoked. So thanks so much, Andertons. And look, the effort they go to. That's why you go to Andertons. So Chris just sent me a screenshot, some credits from this record, and apparently the guitar was done between Billy Odom and Grady Gambrell. Could be pronouncing them wrong, apologise. Going on Discogs, Billy is the more well-known of the two, American guitarist based in Atlanta. Yeah, and this album by Vision, Exposed, Will Recording Corporation, 1986. So it's of the era. It's got that awesome, slightly cheesy, but awesome 80s vibe. And yeah, let's get to it. Now, when I was listening carefully to the track, I could hear moments where I think the whammy bar was being used. And that's why I've got the Strat out. I like my Strat. I should get it out more often, and so should you. Now, we're in the key of A minor, and we're going to be using different positions of A natural minor or A Aeolian. So I'm just going to show you a couple of the main areas that we're hanging out. First one being here. There's a cool run in the middle that kind of hangs out in this area of the fretboard. And then finally, a third position, which is where we actually start the solo as well. Okay, here's the first part we're going to learn. going to start with a whole tone bend up and down on the 15th fret of the B, and then pull off back to the 13, index finger. Slide up to the root note, 17th fret of the E. A little bit of vibrato. And then hammer on from the 12 to the 13 on the B, and then 15th fret of the high E. Those semitones are where you're going to create more of a mood and an emotion, and it's where the kind of character of the Aeolian mode is going to be made apparent, as opposed to just messing around with the pentatonic minor scale, right? Then we're going to go back to 15th fret of the B, bend up, down, pull off again. But this time we finish on the 15th fret of the B. And then we're going to go 13, 15 with a staccato delivery, and then a whole tone push back up. Back to the 13 with the index, and then lower octave of the root note, 14th fret of the G. It's a really tasty opening phrase. Now we're going to move down to what you would consider to be the first position of A Aeolian. And we actually slide into the octave in the middle. I really like this phrase, and it's, again, one of the reasons I wanted to teach this solo. I feel like there's something very, very cool in each movement, and didn't miss a lick. So we're going to slide up into the root note, 7th fret of the D string, and then go up a minor third to the 5th fret of the G and back. Then you can flatten the 3rd finger out to hit the 7th fret of the G. And then I like to hop over to that 7th fret of the G with the tip rather than the flat pad now, because I'm going to give it some really wild vibrato. You could use the bar here, but I like to use vibrato and maybe a little bit of a pinch. Okay, back to that 5th fret of the G and down to your root note. Go back to the 7th fret of the G, you're going to bend that up and then back down, pre-bend release, so you can touch the string with your picking hand after you've bent it up, and then pick it again to let it down. Little techniques like that will go a long way in helping your playing to be a little bit more stylized and tidy, right? So after that pre-bend release, you're going to hit the 5th fret of the G again, and then back down to the root note. Flatten the 3rd finger down, 7G, 7D. Nice little phrase. Then you're going to hit that 5th fret of the G and slide it back a semitone. Again, making use of the Aeolian mode there. Now we have this cool little hammer-on pull-off. And this time we resolve on the G note. Making our way back up the fretboard. Almost went into Vanessa Carlton there, but we've done that before. I've left my bar facing the wrong way around. Did you see that? Don't be doing that. Bring your bar around here. Slight angle. Let's try that again. There it is. My old friend. Now, when I heard this lick, immediately I was like, yes! That's what I did. Yes! I like that lick a lot. And I've never played that run before, and I'm going to be nicking it. And because the song's relatively unknown, between you and me, it's going to be my new lick. Okay? So what we're doing? Well, we're hammering on from the G up to the root note on the A string, 10 to 12. And then from the 9th fret to the 10th fret on the D. It's like a weird Pink Panther. It's not. It's not. 9th fret of the G, and then 12th fret of the B and back. Little power chord, perfect fifth interval. It's really nice. Then if you imagine that you're keeping that perfect fifth as a shape, you're just going to slide up from the 9 to the 12, and then from the 12 up to the 14. And then move up to the 15th fret of the B string and slide to the 17. And then hit the 19 on the high E. Again, that's a perfect fifth, but because the interval difference between the G and the B is a major third, our perfect fifth is this spacing, but on the B and the E string, it's back to being a fourth, so our perfect fifth spacing is back to being your conventional power chord shape, if that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, there's gaps in your musical theory foundation, which I can help you with over on my Patreon, or with some of the other free videos that are in my music theory playlist, or you can just phone me. But I only take phone calls in, you remember the red phone boxes? There's one of them in the UK. It's mine. And if you figure out the phone number, I'm always there to pick it up. Next phrase. Ooh, they just get tastier, don't they? So, back down to first position of A, natural minor, A, Aeolian. I like to do a little muted rake here, and one, I like the sound of it, and two, I think it helps to be a little bit more aggressive sometimes whilst staying tidy. So, pinky on the 8th fret of the high E, the note C. You could just pick it like that, but I like to drape the other fingers that aren't fretting anything over the other strings. And it allows you to kind of like dig in and scrape down, increase the energy of what you're playing without just going. I was teaching Chris this part, and he kept kind of using the pinky flat like this to try and do the rake. And I was like, don't give the pinky too much to do. Fret the note with that finger and then use the spare fingers to do your muting. Works out much easier. So, hit the 8th fret, the C, then you're going to hit the 7, and then hammer and pull off. Pinky down to the 8th fret of the B, back up to your root note. And then index finger kind of like flat rolls down to the 5th fret of the B. And I like to use my 3rd finger here to bend the 8th fret of the B up to the root note. As you do that, you can make use of your whammy bar. Now we're going to do a whole tone bend on the 7th fret of the G. Staccato delivery, so touch the string at the top. Pick it again, pre-bend, release and pull off. Back to that 5. You can hear I'm occasionally hitting pinched harmonics as I'm digging in. Again, that adds to the 80s delivery, but you don't have to do that if you don't want. But you do, because I said so. And then we're literally just going to walk down the A blues scale. So 7th fret of the D to the 5, and then chromatically 7, 6, 5 on the A. Little bit of vibrato and slide out. Because we've slid out, we can then slide into the next phrase. Again, a really kind of cool, sleazy, slinky phrase here. Slide into the 7th fret of the A, and then hit the 5th fret of the D, some vibrato, and then the 7th fret, the root note. And again, you're going to do the same 3 notes, but there's a little snap between the 5 and the 7, little grace note hammer on at the end. So technically you get 4 notes the second time, but it's the same 3. First time. Second time. Now, as you kind of slide down and out, open E is the next note we're going to hit, but I like to put a little muted strike of the low strings there, or you can just use the picking hand to kind of clatter into the strings. So, a little down mute, open E, and then slide the index finger into the G, 3rd fret, some vibrato, and then a staccato A on the 5th fret. Then hit the open E again, slide into the G, and then this time you hold the A with some vibrato. Kind of like the other way around, right? Together, they sound like this. Finally, we've got this. So you've done all the hard stuff. We've just got this kind of pushed, descending scale run. And it then makes use of some whammy bar dips that are in time with the track at the end. So 15th fret of the high E. Again, if you want to rake into that, exactly the same thing as we did when we were at the 8th fret down here before, but I'm just using 3rd finger on the 15th fret of the high E and muting the rest of the strings with the 1st and the 2nd fingers. Okay, so here's the notes. 15, 13, 12 on both strings. Okay, and you can feel that push there. So if I was like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. We actually come back up at the end to the 13th fret and then the 15th fret, the B. However, if you listen carefully, it's not just the note by itself. What I like to do is like a little grace note slide back in, so slide from the 12 into the 13 and then hammer the 13 back down to the 15 before finishing on that B note. And you can start giving the whammy bar a nice little push in time with the track. And as you know, it is essential that you're syncing those eyebrows with the whammy bar, because if you don't, you will be out of time. Anyway, that is the whole solo. And that is a motorbike. Don't know if you can hear it, but it's very loud. We'll be sorting that out soon with the new window though. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed learning this solo. If you know this song, I owe you a pint, because it's pretty unknown, if we're being honest, and it's hard to find anything about it online. I feel like it's an album that guy from the local market would try and push my way. Have you heard of Vision? And I'll be like, no, I've not. Oh, but I should know them because that solo is banging. Now, I'm a sucker for 80s cheese. I blame it on my mum. She must have been listening to a lot of this stuff not when she was pregnant with me, because I was born, I don't know, 2003, something like that. But yeah, let's just say that her taste explains a lot. If you need a little bit of extra help with anything, you know what to do. You can head over to my Patreon and you can support this channel, and in return you'll get tabs for the different lessons that I've done over the years, and you also get guitar profiles, backing tracks if I've made them, and a little chat with me and the lovely community that is over there. Now, enough about me. Let's talk about me. I nicked that from Johnny Bravo. I don't watch Johnny Bravo. I used to as a kid, and I was showing Sophie when she was up here, and we were laughing at that line. Hey, little mama, enough about me. Let's talk about me. And then Soph went on to call him Johnny Dorito for the rest of the weekend because she forgot his name. And he's shaped like a Dorito. And that had me in hysterics. Now, why am I talking about Soph being in my house for the weekend? Well, as I mentioned before, I've got a new band, and that band's called Burrell. Again, new single came out 10 days ago, 120 odd thousand views on YouTube. Amazing, thank you so much. If you've not checked it out, please do. And that has been my hard sell for the day. Wasn't hard, wasn't really a sell. I love you all, hope you're well, and I'll see you soon.